Welcome back, my spooky ones. Elevators. I mean, they're not scary, are they? Well, on their own. I mean, unless you're claustrophobic, of course, and you don't like confined spaces, or maybe getting in an elevator late at night, not knowing who you're going to come up to or against. Maybe there's something creepy about it. What if it stops working all of a sudden, and you just suddenly drop down to your doom? Or what if you go in and you don't pay attention and you literally just step in, there's no elevator there, and you drop right down the elevator shaft? What if it stops working and takes you to a floor that you really don't want to be on? That got me thinking about the infamous elevator game. Does it matter what the elevator looks like? Could be a nice, pristine, clean building. Something that wouldn't necessarily cause you any fear. But you see, with the elevator game, you have to play on your own. Not with anybody's, but by yourself. So, as any good horror fan would, I looked up the elevator game. And I found out that they made a movie out of it in 2023. And I actually just watched it last night. Now, the elevator game as a movie is not too bad. It turns out that there are a specific set of rules, and it is a South Korean urban legend. The rules are as follows. You must play alone in a building with at least 10 floors. The elevator must reach all 10 floors consecutively without changing. The player should not speak to anyone. And if someone else enters the elevator, except on the 5th floor, the game must be stopped and the player must proceed through a specific floor sequence. 4th, 2nd, 6th, 2nd, 10th, and finally 5th. On the 5th floor, there may be a mysterious, or some say terrifying, woman in red. She may appear. However, the player must not look at her or interact with her in any way, no matter what she says or does. You must keep your eyes closed. Otherwise, there may be impending doom. Now, even if you happen to be successful with the game and you end up playing it properly, and instead of going back down to number 1, you go to the 10th floor and you enter the Red Woman's realm. Once you've entered her realm, you are there all alone. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen or what the purpose was in the first place of even entering her realm. Why are we here? That's never really explained. In the elevator movie, it seems that the particular character, Ryan, is there to try and find his sister, who he believes is lost in the realm. However, everybody else believes that the Red Lady, she never lets you leave. She will never, ever let you be free. And because you have played the game, you have invoked her, as you would with a demon or anything else. And in invoking her, you have then ensured that you belong to her. And it is said that with her rage and her being like an avenging ghost, she will shred your soul and your body to pieces. What makes this even spookier and scarier, though, is that there was a real-life case, which many people know now, of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam's story is a sad one, a very sad one indeed, and it would take quite a lot for me to go into it right now, so I'm not going to go into extreme depth, but what I will say is that she stayed at the infamous Cecil Hotel. Now, if you know anything about the Cecil Hotel, that could be about 3 videos all of its own. It has had many strange happenings there, including serial killers staying there and alleged many ghost sightings. Elisa Lam stayed at the Cecil, and there is footage of her behaving very oddly in an elevator, almost as if she is playing a game, hiding from someone. And even though she's pushing buttons, the door won't close. It's not sure what floor she's on, but we are sure that she definitely pressed a multitude of buttons. And yet, whilst she's pressing those buttons, nothing seems to be happening. Now, shortly, I'm going to show you a video. The video is about 3 minutes long, but it's been remastered by another YouTuber who I will list within the description so that you can see that he remastered it about 4 years ago, even though this case happened a long time before that. I think this case happened about 12 years ago now. Elisa Lam did not meet a good end. In fact, as she left the elevator and we see her leave, she's fine, or at least appears to be, but then she is found dead in the water tank. I'd like you to watch this video with me now. It is soundless, but just watch her movements. She's also wearing red, which just really stands out to me, especially because of the red lady. You see how she seems to be looking for someone and then she quickly jumps back, almost as if she doesn't want to be seen. It's a very strange way of behaving. And all this time the door is not closing. I can understand when she steps in front of it, but it doesn't even attempt to close, which is something that really creeps me out. And she kind of jumps out here, almost like a child kind of testing the waters. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Now, I don't know what floor she was on here. I know the Cecil has more than 10 floors, but I have no idea what floor she was on here. And then she kind of stands there for a while, just out of view. She is there. And she's kind of just waiting. And then she's kind of like she's talking to someone. And then starts pressing the buttons again. And as you can see, she looks like she's pressing them in a sequence. She's not just randomly sliding her hand down the buttons. She's pressed them in a sequence and she's crouched over. She seems a bit distressed. She seems a bit confused. And at this point, she seems like she's talking to somebody. She seems as though she is communicating with someone. Yet, when the staff were spoken to, they swore up and down during several documentaries that there was nobody talking to Elisa Lam that day. So was she having some kind of mental health issue? Was she having a psychotic break? Was she playing the elevator game even though she was not feeling well mentally? I guess we'll never really know, because she goes off screen and then we don't see her reappear. And what's really weird is once she goes off screen and seems to walk away from the elevator, I'm assuming, we stare at this blank space, which gives me the creeps in itself. But then all of a sudden, the door closes, shut. What I then find eerier is that it seems to then open randomly, as if it's going to the floors that Elisa had tried to go to. It's opening and closing like a normal elevator would, as if it is now working perfectly fine, no problems, nothing wrong. And it just leaves you with this really eerie, strange feeling. I find elevators creepy as it is, but after this case and after watching this video, and then of course hearing about what happened to poor Elisa, it made it all worse. Now, as I mentioned briefly earlier, sadly Elisa Lam's body was found in the water tank of the hotel on the roof. Her body wasn't found for 19 days. And the reason I am showing this movie, Dark Water, is because this movie was actually made in 2005. And it also is a similar story of a young child who did also get locked into the water tank and ended up drowning in there. And this was found in an apartment building. And this was also another movie that was, as you can see from there, based on the author of The Ring, and another movie that has links to Elisa Lam in some really strange way. Now, fair enough, the Elevator game movie was made in 2023, but I just had to mention it because the links here are very strange. Sadly, as I mentioned, it took them way too long to find Elisa's body. She was actually in that water tank for 19 days, and allegedly it was said that it was impossible to get onto the roof, that it was locked. But plenty of staff said that they used to go up there to have a break and smoke cigarettes and have a drink and whatever. So people wonder how she got up there. Did she go up with a member of staff? Why did she go up into the water tank? Was she not okay? Or did somebody force her to do it? Now, I'm more than happy to do a deep dive on this case, as it is a very perturbing and sad case for all involved. And there was something very sketchy about the documentaries and the staff that worked there. The one that they played on Netflix, it was like you just couldn't trust the workers. That's the way I personally felt, anyway. Of course, there was no proof that they did anything wrong. So, was Elisa Lam playing the elevator game? We don't know. And we'll never know, unfortunately. But there have been much discussion online around her mental health at the time, which may explain some of her odd behaviour, but not the behaviour of the lift. So if you do want to watch this film, it is a good horror movie. I would recommend it. I just wouldn't recommend playing the game, because apparently even those that have come out of the elevator unscathed have been stuck with curses and bad fortune and nightmares. And the nightmares are of something that looks like this, the Red Woman. This is a quick clip from the elevator game, and I wouldn't want her visiting me in any kind of daydream or nightmare. So of course, spooky ones, whatever it is you decide to do, just make sure that you stay safe, stay spooky, because I love you. I'll see you next time. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you know when I've next risen from the dead. Bye.